In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 NBA games happening on December 23, 2023, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games. So 6 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 NBA games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start, if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Detroit Pistons versus Brooklyn Nets. In a classic matchup of the underdog versus the contender, the struggling Detroit Pistons find themselves facing off against the Brooklyn Nets at Barclays Center on December 23rd. This game presents a fascinating contrast as Detroit, determined to break their losing streak, crosses paths with the Brooklyn team teetering near .500, eager to ascend higher in the standings. The nightmarish saga for the Detroit Pistons persists, as they now hold a disheartening 25-game losing streak following a 119-111 defeat to the Jazz on Thursday. Cade Cunningham spearheaded the team's effort with an impressive 28 points and 10 assists on 10 of 22 shooting. Jaden Ivey contributed 24 points with 7 assists, while Marvin Bagley chipped in 22 points on an efficient 10 of 12 shooting. Despite shooting 50% from the field and 9 of 31 from beyond the arc, the Pistons, trailing by just 2 points late in the fourth quarter, succumbed to a 13-7 run by the Jazz in the final 3:27, further extending their losing streak. In contrast, the Brooklyn Nets have been mired in a slump, losing 6 of their last 7 games, hoping to halt a 5-game skid after a 122-117 loss to the Nuggets the previous night. Cam Thomas led the Nets with 23 points, supported by Cam Johnson with 17 points, and Mikal Bridges and Dorian Finney-Smith each contributing 14 points. Despite shooting 48% from the field and 13 of 33 from beyond the arc, the Nets surrendered a 5-point lead in the third quarter, ultimately succumbing to a decisive 22-10 run by the Nuggets. The Pistons are still without Jalen Duren and Monty Morris, while the Nets continue to miss the services of Ben Simmons and Lonnie Walker. Despite entering the Saturday game as nearly double-digit favorites, the Nets face the challenge of the second night of a back-to-back, having lost 122-117 to Denver on Friday night. Notably, Brooklyn has a 1-2 straight-up record on the second night in back-to-back scenarios this year, with an average margin of victory of -8. Doubts arise about laying 9.5 points on the Nets, considering their own struggles, having dropped 5 games. Cade Cunningham and Bojan Bogdanovic are expected to play pivotal roles in keeping the game close. They face a Brooklyn side that has allowed at least 121 points in each of their last 5 games, presenting an opportunity for the Pistons to capitalize. The Pistons are now in a fierce battle to avoid matching an NBA record 26 straight loss. However, the Nets, also grappling with poor form and just 1 win in their past 7 games, might not offer much sympathy. With the Nets' current struggles, coupled with playing on 0 days rest, the Detroit Pistons to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Reiterating an earlier point, the Nets have exhibited defensive vulnerabilities by allowing at least 121 points in each game over their recent 5-game slide. This downturn has led them to the 21st spot in defensive efficiency this season, allowing 115 points per 100 possessions. In comparison, the Pistons rank 26th in the same category, surrendering 117 points per 100 possessions. The anticipation is that both teams will find offensive success in this game. Despite their struggles, the Pistons surprisingly embrace a faster pace style, ranking 7th in pace at 103.2 possessions per game. In contrast, Brooklyn sits at 20th in the same category with 101 possessions per game. With a rest advantage for Detroit, there is an expectation that they will instill their faster style and run the court effectively against the Nets. Brooklyn's offensive prowess, especially their proficiency beyond the arc, is likely to elevate the game's total score. Averaging 116 points per game and showcasing effective shooting, the Nets are poised to make a substantial contribution to the scoreboard. On the other hand, Detroit, despite their challenges, has displayed moments of offensive potential. Their inclination to engage in high-scoring matchups, as evidenced in recent close games, suggests they can contribute enough to push the total score over the set line. Considering the offensive firepower of Brooklyn and Detroit's tendency for high-scoring games, the combined score is expected to surpass the total points line set for this matchup. Taking into account the playing styles and recent performances performances of both teams, our full game total pick leans towards over the projected total. Utah Jazz versus Toronto Raptors. In an exciting interconference clash set against the backdrop of the hardwood, two teams with aspirations of securing playoff berths in their respective conferences are poised to engage in a thrilling encounter north of the border. This Saturday night spectacle features the Utah Jazz venturing away from home territory to face off against the Toronto Raptors. Notably, the Jazz recently faced off against the Detroit Pistons on the road in a challenging back-to-back scenario, emerging victorious with a 119-111 scoreline as 2.5-point underdogs. Simultaneously, the Raptors, in the midst of a back-to-back set, contended with the Philadelphia 76ers in the city of brotherly love, succumbing to a 113-104 defeat against Denver in their preceding Wednesday night fixture. In historical regular season matchups, the Jazz currently enjoy a 32-21 advantage, having claimed victory in the last two meetings, including a noteworthy 122-116 triumph on the road on February 10, 2023. The Utah Jazz find themselves in a commendable position, having secured victories in 4 of their last 6 outings. The team aims to maintain this positive momentum after a convincing 119-111 road triumph over the struggling Detroit Pistons on Thursday. Spearheading the charge, Kelly Olynyk led the team with 27 points and 6 assists, showcasing his prowess with a 1-0-of-1-6 shooting performance. Colin Sexton contributed 19 points, 8 assists, and 4 steals, while Ochai Agbaji made a notable impact off the bench with 18 points. Despite shooting 45% from the field and 11 of 30 from beyond the arc, the Jazz encountered challenges in putting away the Pistons until a late-game surge secured their narrow road victory. On the flip side, the Toronto Raptors find themselves grappling with a challenging stretch, having suffered losses in 7 of their last 9 contests. The team seeks to break free from a 2-game skid following a 121-111 road defeat against the Philadelphia 76ers. Haskell Siakam spearheaded the Raptors' efforts with 31 points and 5 assists on 1-0-of-1-6 shooting, yet their early 15-point lead dissipated as the 76ers staged a comeback before ultimately securing the win. With upcoming matchups against the Wizards and Celtics, the Raptors are poised for a critical juncture in their season. Heading into this matchup, the Utah Jazz may face potential roster challenges, with Talen Horton-Tucker and Jordan Clarkson listed as questionable. Conversely, the Raptors continue to be without the services of Christian Koloko. Both teams find themselves navigating a demanding schedule, playing their 3rd game in 4 nights. However, the Jazz hold a slight advantage with a day of rest on Friday, having flown to Toronto after the Thursday night game against Detroit. In contrast, the Raptors traveled to Philadelphia on Friday night before returning home. The uncertainty surrounding the Utah rotation adds an additional layer of complexity to assessing the outcome of this matchup. Despite these challenges, the Jazz have demonstrated resilience in recent outings, even with key players missing from their rotation. While the Toronto Raptors are perceived as the superior and more well-rounded team, the question of laying a considerable number of points, particularly in the context of a back-to-back scenario, looms large. The Raptors have struggled to find consistency, with their offense experiencing a downturn, scoring 111 or fewer points in 3 of their last 4 games. In contrast, the Utah Jazz, buoyed by a rest advantage, have covered the spread in 4 of their last 6 games. The Jazz are in the midst of a positive turnaround with 4 wins in their last 6 outings, presenting a formidable challenge to a Raptors team currently mired in a slump. Toronto's recent struggles are underscored by 6 losses in their last 8 games leading up to Saturday night's clash. The prevailing sentiment questions the validity of such a significant point spread for 2 teams situated toward the bottom of the standings. Fresh off their triumph against Detroit, the Jazz are poised to capitalize on their rest advantage and secure a victory over the Raptors, sustaining their positive momentum as they approach the imminent holiday break. So the Utah Jazz to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Examining the statistical landscape, the Utah Jazz have witnessed the overhitting in 16 of their 29 games this season, with 1 push. Their struggle with turnovers has been a persistent theme, ranking 30th in the league with an average of 16.9 turnovers per game. In terms of pace, Utah positions itself at 16th in the league, averaging 99.1 possessions per game throughout the season. Conversely, the Toronto Raptors have seen the under prevail in 14 of their 27 games in relation to the total this season as of Friday night. Their turnover rate stands at 20th in the league, averaging 14.2 per contest, while their pace places them 19th with 98.4 possessions per night. Anticipating a low-scoring battle with defensive prowess taking center stage, these teams, while not prolific offensive powerhouses, possess the capabilities to stifle their opponents. Particularly noteworthy is the fact that the under has prevailed in 9 of 16 instances when Toronto plays at home. Given the evident fatigue affecting both teams, a scenario unfolds where the game slows down, leading to a total score below the projected threshold. Thus, in anticipation of a game characterized by defensive resilience and a restrained scoring environment, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Cleveland Cavaliers versus Chicago Bulls. The United Center is set to host an exciting Eastern Conference showdown between the Chicago Bulls and the Cleveland Cavaliers. As the Cavaliers, with a record just above .500 at 16-13, claim the 7th spot in the East, the Bulls find themselves at a slower pace, sitting at 13-17. In their recent encounters, Cleveland has asserted dominance with a 4-game winning streak, sweeping all 4 meetings in the previous season. With the anticipation of a closely contested season finish, matchups like this hold significance, particularly considering the burgeoning regional rivalry between these two teams, making it a must-watch for fans. Moving on to the Cleveland Cavaliers, their recent form has been decent, riding a 3-game winning streak before facing a setback in a 123-104 loss to the Pelicans. Despite the defeat, Dean Wade showcased resilience, leading the team with 20 points, 9 rebounds, and 2 blocks. Isaac Okoro contributed 16 points on an impressive 7 of 10 shooting, while Jarrett Allen added 14 points, shooting 7 of 8. The Cavaliers struggled defensively, allowing 36 points in the first quarter and being outscored in every subsequent quarter. Facing the Bulls, who have been in stellar form, the Cavaliers will need to regroup and showcase their potential, especially with the regional rivalry adding an extra layer of intensity for the fans. On the flip side, the Chicago Bulls have been on a hot streak, winning 8 of their last 11 games. They aim to extend their winning run with a 4th consecutive victory after a commanding 114-95 win against the Spurs. Kobe White led the charge with 22 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists, while DeMar DeRozan added 21 points and 5 assists. Patrick Williams chipped in with 18 points on 7 of 11 shooting. The Bulls exhibited efficiency, shooting 54% from the field and 25% from beyond the arc. Their ability to break free in the fourth quarter with 37 points against the Spurs showcased their dominance, setting the stage for an intriguing matchup against the Cavaliers. In terms of player availability, the Cavaliers continue to face challenges with Darius Garland, Ty Jerome, and Donovan Mitchell sidelined. On the Bulls' end, Torrey Craig and Zach LaVine remain unavailable. Despite the Bulls' historical struggles against the Cavaliers, recent momentum and confidence, combined with Cleveland's injury woes, suggest that the Bulls are poised to secure a victory and cover the spread. With 5 consecutive covers and 9 in their last 10 games, the Bulls enter the matchup with confidence, while the Cavaliers are coming off a recent loss. The Chicago Bulls find themselves in the midst of their best form this season, and the home court advantage on Christmas adds a favorable element. Contrastingly, the Cleveland Cavaliers continue to experience inconsistency, now missing key players such as Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, and Donovan Mitchell. The Cavaliers' recent 19-point loss to the Pelicans in a similar situation underscores the challenges they face. Riding a streak of 5 consecutive covers and victories in 9 of their last 10 games, the Bulls are well positioned to capitalize on their strong form and secure a win at home. So the Chicago Bulls to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Despite the Cavaliers being one of the better defensive teams in the NBA this season, injuries to key players could result in a low-scoring affair, with potential absences contributing to a loss of over 50 points per game. The Cavaliers' offensive capabilities are likely to take a significant hit. The Bulls, missing their second leading scorer, have recently shifted focus to a more defensive mindset. Both teams are expected to prioritize exploiting the turnover tendencies of their opponents, setting the stage for a closely contested, low-scoring game. The under has prevailed in 4 of the last 6 matchups between these two teams and in 2 of Chicago's last 3 games, making the under also a suitable choice as our full game total pick in this anticipated low-scoring affair. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.